Today, my mom will be having a conversation with Meredith Festa.
Meredith, thank you for coming on my show today.
You're welcome. Hello.
I am so excited to have you on. We have a mutual friend, Lindsay and Blaine,
Yes.
who I'm gonna have on the show as well. But they have told me so much about you. I was so excited and so honored to have you on. And like I said before we even start recording, where does one start when it comes to with everything that you do to be part of the solution in this crazy ass world that we live
Mm.
in? And I just want to say right now, I adore you as a human being and everything that you're doing out there. And after this podcast with you, I know people are going to feel like they have hope in mankind again.
Mm. That's a point, right? Yeah.
Yeah, no, seriously. Let's just talk about one of the many things that you have successfully done with.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think like Pause United People is our charity. We're a humanitarian and animals. So it started like mostly animals, but there's always a people component. Um, if you don't get to the root of the problem and if you don't try to solve the problem, it just continues. So we did a lot. Abuse, cruelty, and neglect is my specialty. So I have like
yeah.
an innate ability to, when I meet a cat or a dog or any kind of animal that's hurt, to try to figure out what the issue was. But the thing is that you can't stop the cycle unless you get to the root cause. And I have a friend who's chief of Maasai. So he leads 5,000 people, and him and I are really like minded. So if you want it, he always says to me, if you can't treat your animals well, you can't treat people well. If I want to help the children and the women in my village, we need to teach them to treat animals better. So he and I sort of think the same. So when I finally founded Pause Unite People, I made sure it was important we include the person part, like pause and people, but also that we always remember to not judge and
Yeah.
to try to find a solution, positive solution. So we're all about
Mhm.
trying to find solutions for the problem, be it what it is. So we help animals and the people who love them. So as long as the person or the people or the group is related to animals in some way, we help, which is why I'm currently assisting over 200 Afghan refugees that worked in animal welfare and
Oh,
in Pakistan. They fled the Taliban, mostly women and children. So we're currently supporting them for about $10,000 a month, but they're not dead and I love them. We've gotten 39 to other countries. It means a lot.
wow.
When I know that my friend Mariam, who's a veterinarian who could not be in Afghanistan, is now in Germany, unsafe, and her husband's
Yeah.
safe, and her children are safe, and her family is safe, and they're not going to die. So
So,
it's
so
that,
you saved all these animals, these dogs from
and then
this
people,
war zone
yeah.
and
So
the
like
people
other people,
and
so yeah. So for years,
wow.
over a decade ago, before Positive people even existed, I was helping an organization called NowZad get soldier dogs when they came to the United States because I'm a behavior specialist, adapting those dogs that lived in a war zone to US life, retired working dogs, stuff like that. So I had been working with dogs from Afghanistan, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt for years now. And so the dog part's easy. And we all work together. So I talk to rescuers, like I said, we have Kenya, Kuwait, Jordan, Egypt, Morocco, Turks and Caicos. I talk to people all over the world all the time, Korea, Taiwan. And when it comes to, we're all a family. So families stick together. So when
Yeah.
Afghanistan fell, why would I not help my friends? But they're me. So if you think I put it in perspective, if the United States went crazy tomorrow, we would all hope that our colleagues, your colleagues, my colleagues in animal welfare, your colleagues in acting in other countries would step up for us,
Yeah.
especially women. One of the women in my group is divorced. They're stoning women to death for being divorced. If I don't pay her rent every month in Pakistan, she gets deported. That's what happens. I live with that every day. Plus, on top of that, the shelter where we rehabilitate abused animals. And I have about 130 cats and dogs right now. Dogs from all over the world, cats from all over the world, different situations. We don't import them on the backup. And that's how I know all these people. So if a dog
Yeah.
comes from Afghanistan, say 3 years ago, a dog came from Afghanistan, went to a shelter, didn't work out, couldn't do the house. Well, I'll take that dog to my shelter and try to adapt it to US life. A retired military working dog wants to come to the States, I'll take it first because there's training that needs to be done so that that's successful. But I don't think animals should fly here 3,000 miles to die. So
Oh
I'll
God.
get stuck
Yeah.
at JFK because the rescue doesn't import it right, doesn't want to pay the fine.
Yeah.
Meredith Festa. So that's how I have a paralyzed dog named Barry in my building. I try to solve problems. So I guess positive people is all about solving problems, because if you do one act of kindness every day, you make a difference in one life at a time. And if you continually do that, and we all do that, we make the world better. And that's all I want to do. And I do my best. And if I fail, I fail. I will go down swinging. You know, I'm going down with the ship right now. I'm going to fight till the end to keep my friends alive, to keep the shelter open. If I lose this house because I can't pay the mortgage because I skipped it for 2 months because my friends need to not be dead, then that's what I'm going to do. Because you
Meredith,
have to.
you're bringing cheers to my heart, because you are truly what I would call a human being with such a beautiful soul. And I just love people like you, because you're in it for the right reasons. You are not in it for the glory. You're not in it for the
Oh,
money.
no.
Clearly not for the money, because like you said, you're having troubles paying. You know what
Well,
I mean?
it was my choice. I don't regret it. Chief Joseph from the Maasai called the other day. He needs money for the cattle. They're sick. I'm going to send it. I know we have a certain level of privilege here in the United States, right?
Yeah.
So I have a family, I have friends, there's programs to help me. I lose my house, I stay with my parents. Sorry, mom and dad. I'm 48 years old. It's gonna suck.
Girl, you can come stay with me.
There you go, right?
I have a tree house. I'll put a little blow up bed in there.
We're in a different world, right?
Yeah.
I don't help my friends in Afghanistan. They're stuck in Pakistan. Pakistan doesn't want them there. They have their own problems, but they're waiting for their US visas to be processed. So I am going to keep those animal shelter workers, those veterinarians, those dog trainers, and their families alive. It's not just the veterinarian, it's their wife or husband and their kid.
Right.
And people forget that because they're
Because
like, oh, it was only 42 people.
because it takes a village. It's not a linear problem.
But
I'm gonna loop it into addiction. People think
Yes.
just heal the addict and it should be fine. Just get them to stop drinking or using their meth. That's not it. It is a
Yes.
multidisciplinary approach where you have to heal the environment around the addict. And what you're saying
Absolutely.
is not just the dog or just the veterinarian or just the person.
Exactly.
It's I love that philosophy.
To
'cause
speak
that's
to
where you-
that,
Yes.
I recently, we had a woman and she has an issue with addiction. She had a dog and she was getting thrown out of where she was living because she was having issues. I didn't want her to lose her dog. So I took her dog and we kept it at the shelter for 4 months while she got her proverbial shit together. Because
Yeah.
I don't think it's right. And rescue groups are going to get really mad at me. I'm sorry. Don't take people's pets away because they are on hard times if they're good people. Little boy's dog jumps in front of him. Dog gets hit by car. Little boy doesn't get hit by car. You shouldn't have to give that dog away. That dog saved that little boy's life. Most groups just take the dog, do the surgery. Just because the family can't afford to fix the dog doesn't mean they don't keep the dog. I pay for it. I gave the dog back. That woman shouldn't lose her dog because she fell on hard times. As long as she's getting her stuff together, I'm going to make sure her dog's okay. And if we trained it while we had it.
Thank you.
Women, domestic violence. I had a lady, somebody finds 2 cats in a carrier on the street, middle of the night, like 1 a.m. Pocketbook, coat over the carriers, no people. Automatically, everybody assumes, oh my God, somebody abandoned cats. Me? What did I say? Oh my God, what happened to the lady? We all forget. Animal welfare people are so guilty of this. Listen, I don't hate people. I love people.
I was just going to say, girl, you take humanitarianism on a whole nother beautiful level. I'm just watching you. For those of you who are listening and not watching her face, her soul, this is coming out of her pores. Her loving,
back, you know?
Girl, you know why? Because we're all connected, honey.
Yeah.
We're all connected. Mother Earth, animals, plants, human beings, all of us are connected. And until we all kind of realize that, we're going to keep missing.
Keep spinning.
It's just, we're spiraling out of control. And this is one reason why I love this podcast that I started, because people like you get to come on and say, hold on, guys, right? Ignore the noise. Keep your poise. Take a big breath. You come at it like, okay, how can I see this problem not as a linear problem, but you have to dissect it and then approach each of those layers that are dissected.
Without people, no one helps animals, right? Yep. Without people, some animals won't survive. Without animals, people don't thrive. So the woman who's facing addiction problems, she's not going to recover if she has to get over the broken heart of knowing that her dog is gone forever.
Yeah.
So we're going to make sure that she doesn't have to worry. Woman of domestic violence, that woman, I tracked her down. She was hiding from her ex. I took those two cats with a big argument, took those two cats from into my building, and I held them for her until she could get back on her feet. And then I made sure that when she cat food or we cover it as best we can, because if you're fleeing, if I have so many times people stay in domestic violence situation because they love their pets.
Yeah.
So many times people don't get the help they need for addiction because they don't want to lose their pets. I mean, it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Well, sweetie, I worked with the homeless population in Los Angeles,
and they have their pets.
We could not house a lot of them because they had already, they had a crow or they had a dog or they had some kind of animal, and the housing voucher said no pets. And
they did a big thing on Long Island about that after Hurricane Sandy.
Yes.
Because people were especially like Staten Island, people are in so much danger here in New York from that because they wouldn't leave without their pets. So now, at least on Long Island and Nassau and Suffolk, there has to be pet-friendly shelters, which is a big fight, but it's a good thing. So you bring change slowly. People learn through education, right? So, I mean, even animals, with even with Maasai. So you have cattle and goats, and they get the milk, and the kids drink the milk, and they get sick because they get parasites. Well, the animals are sick. So if you make the animals not sick, when the kids drink the milk, they don't get sick. So by giving Joseph money to deworm the cattle and the goats, then we don't have to deworm children. And then children don't get learning disabilities from malnutrition. All connected. Clean water for the cattle means clean water for the people, all connected. And we forget that sometimes. I think
we've forgotten it a lot lately. Yeah. And I do feel, and I say this a lot in my podcast lately, I just had another person on, and we were talking about this new movement, this new wave that I'm feeling. I don't know about you, girl. There's some big change coming for sure. And I think a lot of people are starting to get scared, and they're starting to go into what you and I are talking about, which is, wait a minute, how can I be this part of the solution? Something's got to change. We got to start this change now, like yesterday, right?
Yeah.
And we have to, and that's not going to come from hate. That's not going to come from this linear, it's, that's your problem, not my way of thinking, right? It's our, like you said, it's a trickle down.
I joke around a lot because I'm Gen X, because I'm 48. So I joke around a lot. I'm like, Gen X is just tired of just not doing anything, and we're all starting to talk. So that's why change is coming, because we're all like, hey, we grew up, you fix the problem, you finish the job. What is this whole, this is too hard, I'm going to do something else. That's not so,
you're right. Like, giving up is not an option. I'm sorry.
Woke up Gen X. We're all like, no, fix it. Yeah.
What I say to people too on my Instagram, I say, hey, listen, you don't have to be loud and crazy and out there to make a difference. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are not comfortable with that way of participating in the change. There's a lot of ways that are kind of quiet and private. You can be part of the solution, but we need to show them what that looks like. What does that look like? Right?
We stopped saying good morning. I've been around, I'm older, but I noticed through the years, people stopped saying good morning, around 2015, everybody just stopped saying good morning. And it's just, we stopped interacting with each other, and we started doing this.
Oh my God, the phone. Don't even get me started. People are always like, oh, well, do you believe in, UAPs? I said, why don't you get your fucking face out of your phone for 2 minutes and look up in the damn sky? They're probably right above your head while you're in there tweeting or whatever it is you're doing. Yeah. You know what I mean? They're probably right above your head. There was a time where we weren't so distracted, that you would actually notice things that were up in the sky.
Talk to people that don't know. What do you mean Afghan women are in trouble? And I'm like, it wasn't on Twitter. I'm like, oh, wow.
Yep.
Just, whoa. But it's, and then the Maasai, people don't know who they are anymore. And we're trying to, I'm like, how do you not know who the Maasai are? People just get so lost in what, I don't know, the Kardashians are doing. I don't know. It's just whatever. And they forget that there's this whole world. Listen, life is global. It's a big world. It's, yes, right, Toby, I agree. The music.
Yeah, Toby, by the way, is her dog, and we're allowing him to have some time.
Free expression. Toby, stop speaking.
That's right, Toby. We hear
free expression, honey. But he's right. No, music and art and friendship and love has to come back, because
thank you. I'm with
Forget.
you, girl. My sons went through school where they got rid of art, they got rid of PE,
Yep.
they got rid of music. When I went to school, we had home ec, we had
Yep.
economics, we had mechanic, where you can go and learn how to change a tire and what have you. And they got rid of all of these
Yep.
very important things, I feel. And you're right, though. Here's the thing: the pendulum swung that way, and now we're trying to bring that
Bring it back.
pendulum back, because I think that people now are realizing that we do need to start connecting, because we all are connected, whether we like it or not. And it's about energy and vibration. And I always say it's about the good thoughts in your head connected with the
Mhm.
love in your heart becomes the action, whatever that might look like for you. But if you got hate in your thoughts, that turns out darkness in the heart, then that's what you're going to then also attract.
Yeah, I said the other day on Facebook, I said, it rains is a part of life, and we all hate rain, right?
Oh, I love
Wet,
rain, but go ahead.
but people get wet. They don't want to get wet.
Yeah.
But rain is essential to life. So you can either be the umbrella, or you could drown someone by being the bucket of water that makes it worse. So be an umbrella, not a bucket of water.
Yeah.
Be
That's
that
beautiful.
cover for someone, because you want the same in return. It's like what you put out comes back to you tenfold. Every religion
Oh, and all
had a prayer
spirituality. I'm a
that
big Dr.
means.
Joe Dispenza, and it's all about energy. I mean, you
Mhm.
go literally, you put it out, it comes back, and maybe not in that moment, but it will.
So
It will.
hate in your heart.
Oh,
Listen, I don't hate people. I love people. Animal rescuers always say, I hate people. I'm like, no, some people suck.
I know I
People
hear a lot of
suck.
say that.
I mean, I have abused dogs in my building, and some people suck, but most people
Yeah.
are good, or I wouldn't have a building with a dog in it
Well,
getting rehabilitated, right? Because somebody made the phone call to say that was a problem.
yeah.
Most people are inherently good, but we only hear about the bad, because
Yeah.
social
No.
media and the news and everything loves a good negative story. We
Well,
don't tell
that's
enough
true.
positive stories.
Yep, this is why on my Instagram I'm always saying, listen, I know there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, but I also want you to be aware. This is why I'm also doing this show. I want people to be aware that people like you exist.
Mm.
That, Kevin Hunter's writing books about your spirit guide, or people that are around you. If you just stay still enough, they'll show themselves to you, they'll talk to you, they'll help guide you through, you know and all of these amazing people I'm having on the show that are talking about all these beautiful levels in life that we need to kind of get back to, but also like getting a social stigma around addiction, social stigma around the paranormal, and the supernatural. And by the way, Meredith, I do have to ask you this question.
I know.
I love it. I love your face. She just like had this cute little like coy face. Meredith, pause unite people. Do you believe in the paranormal and supernatural, and why?
I do. Because,
Yeah.
okay, so, all right. So there's got to be a reason, right? When I meet we have a dog, Baby Shark, which is the best way to explain this. Little dog named Baby Shark. I got a phone call from the shelter. Like, we have a little Maltese Mick. He's evil and he's trying to kill everybody. So I
Oh,
said, oh, let me come look at him. So I go down to the shelter and I look at him. I'm like, wow, you're mad. Somebody made you angry. But I knew somehow that he wasn't a wrong dog. He wasn't a neuro dog. He wasn't a bad dog. Something told me, take this dog. He's just pissed off. And now Baby Shark is a resident at the shelter. Everybody loves him. He is obsessed with Will Ferrell. He has to watch Step Brothers every day at 3:30.
I don't blame him. I'm obsessed with Will as well.
I don't really like the Step Brothers. Like, his television broke and I got in trouble today. But he has to watch Step Brothers all the time. But he loved life. He was just so angry. But something told me to help that dog. Something told me to go online when Afghanistan was going crazy and check my email and answer that plea from help from Dr. Tahara and her friends. Something told me to look a certain place to find something or someone who needed assistance, because I'm not doing that by myself.
Wow,
I didn't just trip over it.
you got some amazing energies following you around like linebackers,
Yeah,
saying,
yeah.
right,
The
your
universe likes
soul.
to chuck it at you. But
Yeah, like
somebody's putting it in my path. Like, how did I get 200 human beings, almost 200 animals, a tribe of 5,000 Maasai, people all over the world saying, I sent a dog, can you help me? How did that happen without the paranormal or an alternate existence or a higher power? Like, you can't be so myopic in your view to think that there's there's not always a logical explanation. I don't know how that happens.
That's true. I always say to people, just because you don't understand it or it doesn't fit into your social norms or any of your schemas in your head does not mean it's not real, number one. And number two, we are classically conditioned as children to think that things that we don't know are scary or like, or we immediately resist things. But as long as we can remain curious and, about things that we don't really know,
Yeah.
anything about, the things that will come to you are so interesting. Look what's coming to you, girl, because you were like, okay, I can't explain this, but something bigger than me is saying, I need to take this soul. Meredith's soul in this body, in this lifetime, has a mission. And boy, girl, there is no stopping you because you got linebackers for spirits. Or my friend Kevin Hunter would say, you got some linebacker spirit team behind you. You
Man,
ain't
it's
done.
tired. It's exhausting. It's exhausting. It's when I was in the hospital, I had a cardiac episode, and all the Afghans are messaging me, and English is their second language, so but I mean they're adults, but it's please do not have anything happen badly, or else we will have no hopes and have despair. And you're like, I know you didn't mean it like that. No pressure, no pressure. I'm like wearing a heart monitor. I'm like, oh God, but I know that they rely on me, and that's my driving force. I mean, the animals in my building are not ready to get adopted. I have to figure it out. You can't walk. I walk away. I joke around a lot, and I'm like, oh man, like I'm not getting struck by lightning. The universe is not done with me. I mean, and again, when you think I can't handle anymore. Oh, Meredith, the cattle have worms. And you're just like, ah. But
I know.
It's fine. It'll pass like a kidney stone, but it'll pass.
Oh my God. I kid. It's so funny because I'm like now got myself immersed and submerged into so many different aspects of what it means to be alive on this planet in this time, and between animal welfare and the environment, trying to become zero waste slowly, making sure I'm advocating for people who also are interested in the solution, who have love in their hearts and beautiful thoughts and are doing things either quietly and silently or really loud and like noisy and doing all these things. And sometimes I get all snappy with my son and they're like, what is your problem? I'm like, I'm exhausted from trying to save the world from itself. And they're like, wow, Mom, really? I'm like, I'm exhausted. It's a big thing. And they're like, why have you decided that you by yourself have to fix everything that's going wrong in the world?
Meredith, you got to take care of you.
Yeah, I know. And they're like,
else. I'm like, when? I'm like, when?
And then there's this self-care thing, which, by the way, my generation called that being conceited. When you would even say anything about self-love, and by the way, that's a big pill to swallow for me, self-love. I'm always like, how about little baby likes?
If we're the suck it up buttercup generation. We're the
suck it up buttercup
generation.
Girl, it was like, just take your G-string, pull it up, and march on. Didn't hurt. Keep going. Brush it off and go, right?
Yeah.
And
I'm thirsty. Go drink from the hose. Yeah.
Yeah. No, mine was, didn't remember PTSD. Now that's just you being a wimp. Get over it. You could literally have the most horrendous thing happen to you, which has happened to me in my life, and go to work the next day like it didn't hurt. And they're like, oh, look at her go.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, years later, had to get my ass sober, trauma work up the wazoo to unpeel that onion, and ooh, baby. But you know what's so fantastic about when you lean into things that are painful? What's left is this, you're an open canvas for new fantastic things to come in, and you are such the epitome of that. And I have to thank you for being you. What an inspiration you are. You make me want to continue on my journey to save the world from itself. And I'm going to ask you a very important question that everybody on Down with Dedee answers. What animal would you like to be reincarnated as, and why?
Ask me that today, and I'm going to say a fruit fly because then it's 24 hours in a nap. That being said, I'm kidding. That was my joke. I think a therapy dog, because I would want to continue to bring joy to others, because I think that the most positive impact you can have on this world is to spread joy.
Yeah.
Whether it's animal welfare, human welfare, your everyday life, just going to the store. If you just spread joy, it's contagious. And if we all spread a little joy every day, things would be better. So I would want to come back as a therapy dog, because I would just want to live my life getting belly rubs and spreading joy.
And treats and everyone going, oh, I was just in a large room in San Diego last night for this amazing organization called FACE Foundation, where they basically raise money, nonprofit, to pay for people's vet bills when they're in emergency situations and they have no money to pay. And the only way to save the animal is to euthanize them. They come in and pay that bill. They
Yeah, we do
negotiate
that.
the
Yeah,
I
do.
love that. And I
Yeah.
was in a room full of a ton of support dogs and emotional support dogs. And oh my God, they're all on the ground. This is like this, like, big dinner thing. They're all on the ground getting their bellies rubbed. And oh, they were just in heaven. And I thought, what an amazing life. I think, Meredith, you would be the most beautiful. Oh my God. Uh, that would be seriously something that I could see you being.
And I want to be a smaller one so I can
Well, I
wear
was going to ask, what breed?
fabulous clothes.
I
Like the
let's
big
go.
dogs do great, but I want to be a small therapy dog so I can wear fabulous clothes.
Okay. I said emotional support. You said therapy dog. Okay.
Yes.
Now, okay. So I was going to ask you a small one. Okay. The ones that you were saying, don't you have one back there that was all yippy?
Yeah,
earlier?
where is my chihuahua? Hold on. Wait.
Well,
So
oh, there she goes. She's going to get the pup.
this is Pascal.
Oh, hi there, little
So
guy.
Pascal.
Oh, jealous. Here comes jealous. You just had one run from the couch.
Oh, they're all funny. So Pascal was
Oh.
when you kiss him, he shows his teeth. So everyone thought he was mean in the shelter, but he was just showing the teeth because he's weird.
Oh, he's
But
so
Pasquale's
sweet.
a therapy dog, so he works with like special needs adults, special needs kids, to let them know that it's okay to be weird because he's got the hairless gene. So it's okay to be weird.
Yes, dude,
Thanks.
sweetie, I'm all about weird. I always say
So-
if there's a box, I'm so far out of that box, it's ridiculous.
Yeah, right. But the the emotional support dogs are usually for one person. Therapy dogs work with a lot of people. I love the therapy dog work because, you get to go to nursing homes where someone maybe not have a dog. My dog passed away. Her name was Ava. She had epilepsy. So I used to work with her with kids that were recently diagnosed with epilepsy to show them that, so there's a lot of things you can do. We talk about bullying, nonverbal kids. I mean, I have special needs adults with children come to the animal shelter to work with the abused animals because they're very intuitive and it helps. I have a lot of nonverbal kids that'll sometimes work with the cats and dogs because that symbiotic relationship, again, they heal each other. They know. I have a dog in my building that I can't touch. And there's one special needs kid that he loves her.
There you go. Again, we're connected. There you go. There's a connection there that we can't explain.
Yep.
And sometimes I'm okay with not being able to explain it. How about this? Their souls found each other. Their vibrations and connections are in harmony. And isn't that what it's all about?
How could you not believe in the paranormal? Right? Because there's
They-
otherwise
there's- They could have been souls that met before. I mean, we could go there. Why not? I mean, I don't know that doesn't exist, right?
Yep.
Meredith, will you promise me you will come back for part 2? Because I know that,
Absolutely.
girl, I know
Absolutely.
my shows are short and sweet, but let me tell you, I also have another friend who has got a podcast and I'm going to get you on hers. We're going to get you out there so everybody knows who you are and what you're doing because we need to send you a lot of love and support. We got
it's everybody just needs to pray that at some point everybody stops arguing about the politics of Afghan refugees and does something because there's so many Afghans that are hurting and my soul, I can't take the weight. The animal part of what we do is my life's work. And the fact that I was willing to almost lose my animal shelter because I know it's important, because without people, it's over, Johnny. So,
we have to
as a woman,
we
need to remember, please, Afghan women are in big trouble. And we can't do anything other than elevate their voice. They don't need you to be their voice. Believe me, they talk. Elevate it. We all have to elevate each other's voices. We don't need to speak for anyone. We can just elevate what somebody's trying to say. And that's also a big problem within the world of advocacy is we all try to speak it instead of elevate it. We try to say, well, I think this. No. This is what's going on. Let the person that's having that experience explain it. Don't steal their pain. No bullying. Don't steal someone's pain. Be joy and elevate the voices of others. Because if you elevate a cry for help, then that help cry is heard. But if you just go, ow, and then walk away, then nothing happens.
I agree with you. I think what would happen is we've sadly gotten to a point where we're becoming so detached from
Yeah.
the fact that we are each individuals, we are souls, we are, you know what I mean? And we have to get back to the simple truth that we're all human, and all of the politics and religions and the wars and all that stuff is the noise on the outside. And I just know in my heart, and I think they did some study that there, or something, where they said something about over 95% of all people, their DNA is good. Meaning they want love, they want harmony, they don't give a shit about all of
Yep.
these differences. And then there's this kind of like this little chunk of dark DNA that they're about war, they're about division, they're about power, they're about ego, all this other stuff. But I believe, and I have to believe, that the majority of the people in our world on Mother Earth, anyways, because I think we've got some other things going on out there. I believe most people in the world really want the same damn thing. We'd like to get along and not see pain and torture and all of these things that I know people get upset about. And looking away doesn't make it go away. I'm sorry. Looking away
Yep.
don't make it go
And
away.
that applies to any species because you can look at a dog and people say dogs are bad. I'm like, no, that dog's bad. No, no, no. Most dogs are good. In most cases of dog aggression, right? 99% of the time it's medical or abuse. There's
Yeah.
only that 1% that the dog's just not right. And 99% of people are good. They're good. There's 1%,
There you go. It's in our DNA. We want we
spay neuter maybe, but it's just, that applies to all of it. But
yeah.
there's just a very small percentage, but all we hear about is bad when it comes to breed specific legislation, talking about pimples are bad, or this person's bad, or this race is bad, or this religion's bad, or this is bad. No, 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 no.
I agree.
Very
You
small
know,
percentage bad, which just all people want to talk about. Don't
and
broadcast
it's
people's pain. Heal it. Don't.
but I think people are starting to regurgitate on it. I do believe
Yeah,
that. And
I
this is
think
why,
so.
and I think more people like you and I and everybody else, my friends who have podcasts, like I said, I'm going to shoot you over to my friends and we're going to get you out there, because I think that I always say that, be aware of what's going on in the world, which is the dark and all this kind of noise and ugly
Mhm.
stuff,
Be
but
the
also
light in the dark.
you have to pair it with also being aware of all the good that's happening, because that's going to give you the hope. That's going to
Mhm.
make you want to wake up in the morning and know that there is a solution, and we're going to figure this out. We're going to get through it, but we're going to have to get through it together in the right side of mind, in the right state of mind. Dr. Joe Dispenza said, you want to fix the world, you got to fix yourself first. You got to fix your thinking and your heart. And then of course your behavior, the triad. We start with
Yep.
one end yourself and others like mind, then that becomes contagious, and we can literally start to push away that dark and the noise, because I refuse to believe that that's the majority. I refuse to believe I just think that that's all we're hearing, right? So it's our responsibility to pair that dark with the light, the yin and the yang, right?
It will
And
be better tomorrow. That's a Maasai thing. My friend Chief Joseph always says to me, it will be better tomorrow because
yeah,
it'll
or
be
how
better
about like
tomorrow.
in a minute from now, right? Meredith, I
Yep.
want to thank you so much for coming on. Thank you
I
so
appreciate you
much.
taking the
Oh,
time to talk to me.
Oh, girl, you have a beautiful day. And I will forever look at all of these little therapy animals now and say, oh my God, that's gonna be Meredith one day. Thank you for being you. Thank you. I appreciate you. I really, really do.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Have a beautiful day. Bye.
For more information on today's guest, check out the show notes below or visit our website at www.downwithdede.com.